and welcome to TMA Tuesday Night Live. This is the Pidge, and I'm joined by Mr. Aidan,
hello,
the window
people.
Smasher. He is a fixer. Mick,
Watfordwoody.
yes, and Dave Begley, aka Brian Adams. Hello, sir. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers, much. Right, thank you as ever, guys. Plenty to talk about. Obviously, we'll be talking Man United for the first half. Well, as much as we can for the first half hour. We'll just see how much verbal diarrhea we got this evening, and also many other stuff. But remember, your podcast, your opinions. Get your opinions through. We'll see if we can Skype as well. If not, just get me on Facebook Messenger and get yourself chatting. Okay, boys. So, go on, Mr. Dave Begley. First time on here, mate. So
yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah. I've supported United since the late '80s. My father was has always been a big United supporter since he was a child in the '50s. So he watched the classic United teams under Busby. I've been lucky to watch all the classic Ferguson teams and seen some of the more horrific times under Moyes at Old Trafford, and then. Hopefully, this year it's been a little bit more promising with Mourinho.
Got those glory years of Moyes. Oh.
glory months.
Glory months, got a month.
It's like going to see the good, the bad, and the ugly with Moyes.
It's just the ugly, though, wasn't it? Jesus. Yeah. So go on, mate. So you and your old man are going Sunday as well, aren't they?
Yes. Well, my father's a season ticket holder, so he goes to all the matches. I managed to get a ticket for the Sir Alex Ferguson stands, or to the older supporters, the Old North stand. So I'll be sitting up at the top, get a decent view. Most places are around the grounds. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be hopefully a good match.
Oh, brilliant, mate. Oh, who's your favourite player? I know you said you.
Of all time.
Yeah, go on. Who's your favourite United player?
Of all time, it would be Roy Keane.
Yeah.
His drive, his hunger, the way he bossed the United teams, even when he came in to a very successful United team in '93, when you had Brian Robson, Steve Bruce. The fact that he came straight into that side, and if you felt players weren't performing, he would be screaming at them for the ball.
Yeah.
So. He would be my favourite player of all time, and we could do with a Roy Keane in this side right now.
How about favourite player right now then?
Yeah, good question.
As a goalkeeper, I like David De Gea. In terms of an outfield player, I like Juan Mata. I think he's quite an underrated player. He did very well at Chelsea.
Yeah.
When he's played for United, he's been in and out of the side, but when he has played, I think he's a very intelligent player. He's an old school type of player in that he's not the quickest player in the world. It's like a Pogba.
Yeah.
He's not, but he's got that footballing brain, which a lot of the modern day footballers don't seem to possess.
Yeah.
This is what you do with the ball, not how fast you're on it.
That's it, mate. I'll tell you what, we were at Old Trafford last year. The two players that stood out for me was that, even though Prodil had Pogba in his pocket, and he luckily returned him for that game. It took him months to return him, but he did actually return. Him and Mata was quality. That game, just for that game, obviously, that game, and Pogba looked absolutely brilliant. Even if it's just he does what he does. I mean, he waits for his right moment. He was just waddling around. Those two were the standout players when we played you at Old Trafford. I mean, I still remember in was it Niang's debut?
No, that was Arsenal.
Was it Arsenal's Niang's debut? That's the first time we saw him live, Niang, and was it?
Yeah, Arsenal was Niang's debut.
Was it Trafford after Old Trafford was after Arsenal? Because Niang definitely played at Old Trafford. Because I remember him coming, he did a few tricks and then that had a sulk on the sidelines. We're like, get back on the pitch, we're going. Yeah. Honestly, it was during play. He was stomping his foot because he missed the ball. So don't worry about it. Get on there. Just carry on, doctor. But yeah, no. I mean, who do you think we're going to be fearful for? See, I mean, we pretty much. I mean, what Man United, reviewing Man United is like Tottenham and Arsenal. It's so easy to think. But who do you think is going to cause us the most damage?
Depending on the side that Mourinho puts out, I think Herrera could cause some damage if he plays in the midfield.
Yep.
If he plays in the centre. Mata can cause damage if he's played in the right position. But again, it depends on whether he plays or not. Lukaku can be a handful, but obviously he's been out injured. So whether he's back in time for that match before the FA Cup final, I think Mourinho might have him there as a sub and bring him on to try and get him some minutes before the FA Cup final. So if he plays, because of his physical strength, he can be a handful. So I would probably say Mata or Herrera if they're playing.
Yeah.
Personally, myself, I think if we can get in at them, because as he says, they've got the FA Cup to think about.
Yeah.
A lot of their boys will be going to the World Cup this year. So if we can get into them, I think we'll do a pitch prediction and beat them 2-1.
Prediction.
Pitch prediction.
It's going to happen. No, I think he's only. I said to Dino Moves and Danny, I said, look at West Brom. West Brom went there.
If we stand off, they're going to annihilate.
Oh yeah, you will.
I think with United, again, it will depend on how Mourinho sets them up. If he sets them up in a defensive way, or if we go out and attack. I think the Spurs game summed up United's season in the FA Cup semi-final, where for the first 15-20 minutes we were very defensive and we were 1-0 down. When we play defensively, it's cost us this year. When we've actually gone out and attacked teams, we've actually proven we can cause some damage. I think the players, given last week's performance, I think there'll be a number of players that all feel they have something to prove, especially with an FA Cup final coming up.
Oh God, you thought so, wouldn't you? Jesus.
Given how poor a number of those players were last week, they've got something to prove to the manager if they want to play in this cup final. So I think United.
Yeah, he wasn't too happy with the forwards last week, was he, old Mourinho?
No, I mean,
in the interview on Match of the Day, Pogba was shouting or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, he hasn't played that well this year, but Rashford is a player who, over the last couple of years, I've enjoyed watching at Old Trafford because he has a go. Unlike Martial, who, if he doesn't go his way, seems to drop and seems to sulk. Martial tends to run up plays. He's got a lot of pace, and he always works. Unlike, last week was probably the first time I've seen him put in a performance as bad as that. But he usually, even if things aren't going for him, he works for the team. He works hard.
No. What do you think these scores going to be, mate?
I think Watford will get a goal.
Yeah.
But I think United will win. I think it'll be 2-1 to United.
With pitch predictor, but the other way around. Yeah,
I'd just love to get a goal away from home right now.
Yeah. I mean, getting a goal, that's first. We're good doing it in stages. Yeah, first one, get a goal away from home, which is nice. I mean, we haven't won since November.
Yeah,
away.
Newcastle.
We can't go on to that defensive mode.
We were quality against Newcastle, though.
Because we defend too deep. These Man United have ripped us apart. They like teams defending deep. We've got to keep, like we did with Newcastle,
we've got the energy of the first half.
And carry on that through into the second half.
Yeah, I'm quietly optimistic because, like I say, I looked at the West Brom thing. The only thing that's holding me back is the lack of goals and the fact that we haven't won since November away. That's the thing that's holding me back from. I'm still going pitch predictor. I'm going to give it anyway. Get the pitch predictor out for the lads. Yeah,
it's got to be done.
I think one of the things will be who Mourinho picks in United's defence as well, because every time I see Chris Smalling and Phil Jones in the centre of the defence, it doesn't exactly fill me with confidence. And neither of those two seem to like having possession with the ball. So you watch Chris Smalling when he brings the ball out at Old Trafford. This is something which Match of the Day doesn't capture. Is every time David De Gea gives him the ball and he's got 60 yards worth of space, he panics and blasts it into Rose Ed. So if
you obviously haven't watched Britos then, have you? We'll have Smalling, you can have Britos.
Do a swap.
Yeah, do a swap. We'll do a nice little swap. You can have Britos, he's brilliant. Especially, oh God, that still haunts me at Old Trafford last year with his first touch. He had no one on him.
Oh,
did you watch that?
Yeah.
You actually went, didn't you, as well?
No, I went there last season. I was watching it for a stream.
Oh God, did you see his first touches a couple of times?
It was.
I didn't see it.
Terrible. He had no one on him, and it was like a hot potato. It's like, Britos, just calm down. There's no one on you. It was like someone's running at him, tearing him about 2-footed. He was that
like
panicking.
He had a ghost there behind him.
We've struggled with that this season in the team.
There was nothing on him. He was just at his foot. He was getting caught. Yeah, he was just getting caught under his feet. He said, "There's no one on you. So get out your feet and just launch it down the line."
Well, I'm hoping that Mourinho will put Bailly in the defence. I know he didn't play him last week, but I really hope he does play him in the defence because he's someone who has impressed me. He's been a good buy for us. I know he's been in and out the side with a couple of injuries, but when he has played, he's looked very solid in that back four.
Lindelof.
He's somebody who I think has got potential. but he strikes me as somebody that thrives on confidence, and he needs to play with someone who instills confidence in them. When he plays with Chris Smalling, he's not exactly playing with somebody who's going to instill confidence in you. I think if you played him with Bailly, he would be a lot more solid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, look at Ashley Young for one. I mean, he came to us and he just looked class apart when he played us. I mean, both of the goals. I mean, the thing is that first goal was it through the legs? And Gomez was completely unsighted for that one, to be fair. He got beaten in his near post. And I said, Dino, because I'm an advocate with the young man, goes to me, well, you don't like it. And he's quite right. He goes, you would criticise people for their near post. I said, the only thing I gave Gomez for that is it went under someone's legs. And it had to be a decent strike to get to full Gomez at his near post. Because when have we ever seen him get beaten at his near post?
Yeah.
Straight in there, start Gomez for us. Do you reckon they get the?
No, I don't think he will. I hope he does. Oh, Adrian Bacali's online, ex-Watford midfielder from the late 90s. Adrian, he's on, and Sir Ray Cook is on. Sir Ray's here. He's
getting better. Wasn't very well the other day, was he, Ray?
No, get well, Sir Ray.
Feeling better.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, and Super Down Grimley is on. Ooh, Super Down Grimley. Yeah. So. Yeah, that is pretty much it. But
what formation would you start against United? General 4-4-2, Deeney and Gray up top again.
Would you?
I would. They, like I said in WD18, they looked so comfortable together. And when Deeney got brought off against Newcastle, everybody in the crowd booed. I have not heard a boo that bad.
It didn't make sense
since we booed Zaha. When he was playing, but everybody wanted them to up top for the rest of the game, and the second Deeney got brought off, everybody started sitting back, and you can't do that, especially against a side like United, because if we sit off them, they will punish us.
That was Gray's best game. I mean, it doesn't say much because he's been terrible, but that has been his best game, and he looked like the player that we bought.
People are still hating him, saying it was a simple tapping. It wasn't.
It's the movement.
You still have to be in that position to score it, and he could have easily headed it right over the bar.
Well, my when I backed him at the start in August, I justified this as well. He wasn't scoring many goals, and I think you may have said it. There's maybe one or two others as well said it, that he's not scoring goals, but he's making space for others, which is almost like a goal, because if the other players that you made the space for scores, you pretty much scored a goal because you've assisted.
Yeah,
he's taking these players out to create more room.
I'm starting to with the Tottenham game where he had that easy tap in. And it was like, what
the thing is, though, the one thing I would respect him, it was in hindsight, you look at it, and any striker on form would have placed it in the bottom corner. But you see, he got into that position, and the movement, when you play to his strength, so you can roll off the last defender and play the right ball.
Yeah.
Look what happens.
Yeah. If you watch when Pereira's actually, Pereira and Deeney's linking up well, you can see Gray on the edge of the box, pointing his hand up and saying, I want it right there, put it there for me. And that's exactly what Pereira done, and Gray headed it straight into the back of the net.
Pereira's back to how much, I mean...
He's got back to it, he's better.
Yeah, I mean...
He's been great.
At least, I'd say at least back to thing from the start, and then now he's even better. I'll agree with that, mate. But the thing is, that you've got to be one hell of a... Juventus had to have one hell of a team for him to go. I mean, they did really. Had Pogba and Pirlo in midfield. Weren't too much of a shabby midfield, was it, at that time? Yeah. And Pereira can get inside. I mean, he's had his injury problems, but when he's on form, he's one of the best midfielders.
There's no stopping him.
No, he's
great against Newcastle.
If he had a run, he'd be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. He'd be in the top 10. He'd probably be around 10th, 9th.
I hope he's on that form against Man United the weekend.
Seems like he's on that form every week now.
He's just different class. I think at the moment he has been different class.
Yeah.
It's just a shame it's now very ifs and buts. It's just a shame we haven't had this the whole thing. No lipstick and handbag, Ray's saying today. I mean, you've disappointed me, you young man. Not the official young man. Dino is the young man, but yes.
No, I'm the glass smasher.
Glass smashing young man with
train window smasher, isn't it?
Train window smashing, you know.
Say that 10 times.
Neil says, love us to win at the Theatre of Dreams, but can't see it even if we play 4-4-2.
I think we've got a better chance, Neil, if we do play 4-4-2. I can understand what you're on about, mate. We should play 3-5-2.
Why?
Okay, I'll tell you what, Neil, and this is to everyone else. Shout out your lineup, and Neil, back yourself up with a 3-5-2. Who would you pick in that 3-5-2? We'll go around everyone now. We'll give our formations and lineup, but you guys come out with your lineups, the danger men, and who's going to hurt United, if any. Who's going to be our main players? We've already shouted main thing. I think Pereira's going to be the main one, and I actually going to shout Gray after that, because if they play the Gray strengths, he can get behind that back line. It really depends, like Begley said, who they're going to put out the back. So they play Smalling and Jones. I think Gray will have a bit more luck. If they play Bailey I've had Bailey before. It was Bailey. You know, I think it's going to be a bit harder for Gray because Bailey's a good player.
The thing is, my team would be a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Gomez in goal, Holebas, Cabasele, Cathcart, and I'd have Femenia in right back.
Yeah, I said that last game as well.
Then you've got Pereira left wing, Decore, Hughes, and I would actually start Delafeu on the right wing. See what he can do with Femenia, and then Deeney and Gray up top.
That's pretty solid.
I possibly wouldn't start with Delafeu.
No.
I thought he struggled against Newcastle. I possibly wouldn't start
him. But he came on so late.
The
game was near enough done, and we were defending most of the time. So starting from the start and just let him run down those wings.
Yeah. What would you?
Kiko overlapping as well.
I don't know what I'd put on there, but I don't know. I just didn't think Delafeu enjoyed himself against the Newcastle game. He just didn't.
Yeah, but he came on with when we were defending, so he might literally.
If we're playing attacking football, possibly have him on there.
Yeah,
but he's not no good at the defending formation.
Yeah,
we played in the second
defending,
half.
He looked terrible, but when we were attacking, if Richarlison, when we were counter attacking, if Richarlison put the ball to Delafeu so much earlier, he could have easily had a goal and made it 3-1.
True.
Would you start with Richarlison on the bench?
I would have him on the bench, but I wouldn't start him.
Want to start?
Right, what's your lineup then? I'll shout mine out in a bit.
James agrees with me with my selection.
Yeah, I agree with Aidan here, but apart from, I don't know about Delafeu. I don't know
who would you put in instead then?
Who we got that's fit?
Capu.
Yeah, he's been playing really well. I think Capu's had a few good games where he's played really well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd start with Capu over Delafeu then.
Same formation.
Same, but yeah, with Capu.
Same formation, just
Capu's been playing really well.
Yeah.
Then would you have Hughes out on the right wing then? And Capu in the centre?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing you got to think of.
That Hughes, by the way, Will Hughes is England midfielder, mate. We're going to the World Cup, mate.
Hughes for England.
Hughes for England, mate. Right, we'll get your Man United one in a minute, and if you can throw out any standout Watford players you think might cause you guys a problem. What I'll do is here we go. It's not going to happen. I'm evening, Daniel, evening, mate. But I'm going to put Gomez anyway. I don't think he's going to get it, but Gomez, Firmino, Holbas, Cabs.
There's just Prado and Cathcart from
Cathcart, Cabs and Cathcart. Centre, midfield, Hughesy, Decore. See, I'll put actually up on the left and right. See, this is the thing. I'll play 4-4-2. I'll go in with a 4-4-2. Dean and Gray up front. Hughes, Pereira, Decore, and Capu in midfield. Capu really impressed me last game with his ball winning. Just his ball winning.
He was my man of the match. The constant pressing he was doing. He was all over the pitch.
And he pushing forward. The Capu of old would push the ball forward and thrust forward. Before he
wasn't playing sideways or backwards. He was getting the ball. He was turning away. There's your man. Go.
I called him the French Mark Noble They just passed the ball back and across. There was no.
Didn't he score? Was it last season or season before against Man United?
No.
When they had
Well, in your own words, there will be stimulation going on. There's stimulation going on, mate. It's going to happen. You got a meme and everything, mate. You're famous.
It was last season, Man United at home. Completely got the first goal.
Yeah. Good finish as well. Remember that?
Beautiful finish. He was on the edge of the box, holding his arms up. Give him the ball. Second he got it,
with a bit of power,
went straight into the right.
Right. United lineup. And who do you think's going to hurt you?
With the United lineup, Mourinho doesn't do 4-4-2.
Old-fashioned.
De Gea obviously will be goal. I think he'll play Ashley Young at left back. I think he'll play Valencia right back.
The formation will be a 10.
I think you'll have Smalling in the centre back. I think he'll go for. I would like Bai to be playing, but I think he'll go for the Swedish ones.
Oh, Lindelof. So you got to have 4 at the back.
He always has 4 at the back.
Yeah, he's always flat 4. Who's your midfield?
I think in front. I think he'll do 2 in front of the defence. Like he'll have Matic and he'll have Pogba.
Yeah.
Then in front of that, you'll have Jesse Lingard. I think Anthony Martial will play. I think Herrera will play.
So it's like a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
It's pretty much standard Premier League formation here.
Yeah. If I don't know what Lukaku's situation is, but I think he might start him to try and get him some minutes before the final.
Yeah.
Or he'll bring him on as a sub. I just can't see Rashford playing, given the dressing down he was given, given how poor he was last Friday. So he might play Martial up front, and he might put Matt on the right.
Yeah.
So, but that in terms of the formation, I think he'll do that 4-2-3-1.
Right, who do you think's the danger men for us? From what you've seen from us this season, who do you think's
Pereira's a threat?
Yeah.
And I think Deeney will be a threat. Not because of his pace or, in terms of footballing ability, but because he's a physical threat, because of his size and because of his power. I think people, certainly like something like Smalling, if you go in hard on something like Smalling, he doesn't like it.
Just knock him out.
Surprised, because thinking non-league gets non-league, you thought his bread and butter would be that. You think that would be the first thing that he'd be looking for.
He's not a very physical.
Jesus, not a physical centre-back. Bloody hell, he's not old school.
Run the other way.
That's the first thing you always thought with old school centre-backs was like physical. Oh, God, that's the first thing.
I think if Bai was to play, I think Bai would have...
He likes to have 50-50, doesn't he? Jesus.
50, but Deeney, because of his physical side to his game, could cause us problems. Also, mentioned Pereira, any of you, the people that play on your flanks, could cause us problems, because United this year have been quite narrow. If you look at the way United have played this year, they haven't got... It's not a traditional United side. When you think back both with Busby, with Ferguson, United's traditional style has always been fast counter-attacking football with lots of width. You look at this side at the moment, it's a very physical United side.
Very
a lot of it.
compact.
It's got a lot of height, but it's very compact. He sets it up, Mourinho, in a similar way he set up his Chelsea sides.
The thing is, though, years ago, I mean, when you Giggs and Beckham, everyone knew how to defend against them. They just couldn't.
Yeah,
they just rain crosses in all the time. I mean, even I could have probably fancied myself getting 20 goals in that team. The delivery, joke aside, the delivery was so good. I mean, Cole said all he had to do is run into the ball. The balls were so well produced into the box, isn't it?
Probably the best combination I ever saw in terms of crossing and with strikers was Van Nistelrooy and Beckham for those couple of years when they played together at Old Trafford.
They're telepathic, weren't they?
They were telepathic, and obviously the other winger that caused a lot of problems was Ronaldo, with his pace and his feet, and the fact you could play him on the left or the right and he could get at you. Giggs his crossing was good. It wasn't as good as Beckham's.
Yeah.
But where he hurt you was with it, particularly in his younger days, was with pace and the way he would dribble the ball. He tends to cut inside more, whereas Beckham could float it in more. We also used to have a player, I mean, that's United side that won the double in '94. before Beckham broke into the side, Andrei Kanchelskis, the Russian, obviously he went downhill after he left United. He went to Everton. But when he played at United for a number of years, he was quite dangerous with pace on that right flank as well.
Yeah, you do a runner.
I was just about to say that.
I don't do a runner.
This incident.
You guys don't know the full story.
Right, this is what I've been told by various sources, not just one, i.e. Daniel Becky. There's more than 2 sources on this one. Moves was apparently beckoning over his mate right outside a coach, looking towards the coach, beckoning him at one of his mates. Newcastle guy comes out, tries to start him. Brilliant Skype call. Yeah,
He moves, putting his side across.
Moves. Go on to.
Is it moves?
No, it's Ray.
It's Ray.
Oh,
Sorry, Ray.
it's
Right, I'm going to
Mr.
message Ray.
Cook.
Ray, I will message you, mate. Just hang up, mate, and I will get you on to Facebook message.
Yeah, what happened was Moves was calling over his mates. The Newcastle supporter thought he was waving at him. The guys come over, try to start a fight. Now Becky's trying to say I ran away from it. When everything started up, I was looking down to see if there was any players coming up at the side of Sir Elton John stand. Saw what was going on. I've gone round the side of the guy, and when I saw him get aggressive, I didn't run off. I went to go grab the police officer for assistance, just to say get him out of it.
I believe him.
But I was standing at the side first because I was near enough ready to step in.
Why was Moves waving at
Why was it
Newcastle fans?
waving at He turns around and goes, "Oh, I was beckoning my mate over." Yeah, of course you were.
But the thing is, when you look at it, where the Newcastle fan,
I always beckon my mates over right in front of the coach, away coach going like that. He was waving at me. Said he was.
When Moves was waving, he was waving to the right, and the Newcastle fan that came over came from the left. But so it's like he wasn't even looking at the Newcastle fan. Nobody even knew that he was looking at him.
He was deeply upset though.
Let's see if we can get Sir Ray on this.
Side of the defensive. He was upset.
Yeah, no, because it's the mics on it. No, the mic's a bit big.
Hello.
Hello, Sir Ray. Let's get you this way, mate, because I can see you a bit more. Hello, mate.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
Yeah, how are you boys?
Yeah, not bad,
got
mate.
a Man United fan in there.
Yeah, Mr.
Hello,
Begley.
Hello, Ray.
Hello, mate. Can I just say before I say anything, I want to just say for the record that I hope Sir Alex Ferguson, like a lot of us, has a quick recovery. He's an absolute legend.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, thankfully, from what I read today,
Did you get that?
Yeah. From what I read today, he's recovering.
Did you get that?
Yeah, we can hear you.
From what I read today, he's meant to be recovering quite well. He's awake and he's talking apparently, so he seems to be on.
Yeah, it's. I had the update a short while ago. He seems to be up and talking with the doctor, so it's good news for everybody and for football in general.
Yeah, that is brilliant, mate. No, that's really good news, mate. I mean, what annoys me, people say, "Oh, rivals aside, it doesn't matter. It's not football. This is just wishing a guy well.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with. It's like, sorry,
another human being.
if it was Lenny Lawrence or something from Luton, I wouldn't even say, "Oh, I'm a Watford fan, but I wish Lenny Lawrence well." I just say, "I wish Lenny Lawrence well."
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't understand when people have to throw.
I think
rivalry,
football takes the back door when it comes to things like this. It's
Oh, of course it is.
He's like any of us in real life. You know, what he's done outside football is no man's business. He's been such a good father figure to all the players, good model professional in what he's done in the past, at Aberdeen as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to be said about the man as a community person.
Yeah.
So, a bit like Taylor in a way, in the sense that he mingled well with the players and the families. He's a very good professional man, family man.
Yeah,
I was very lucky to meet him one time, and he was a very nice man, and he spent a lot of time with the fans when he went to the old Cliff training grounds.
You still there?
Yeah, mate.
So I was, as I said, he was very nice, and I thought on that what you were saying about rivalries a few weeks ago when Arsenal came to Old Trafford and we presented Wenger with something before the game. Again, like you say, rivalries aside, it's
that's just respect for someone else.
Someone, yeah, it's got to be respect.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think this could...
I hope he has a quick recovery and he can get on with his life with his family again.
Too right. That's the most important thing, regardless of games or whatever. But saying it back to the game, mate. I mean, obviously, main thing is he gets better, and by Saturday we know hopefully he's out of hospital and all being well. That'd be fantastic. What do you think the score's going to be on Sunday, mate?
It's a real bad connection on this at the moment.
We can hear you absolutely fine, mate.
Is there something wrong with the
If you go, if you
problem?
no, if you go on audio, mate, it's probably going to be much better.
Hold on a minute.
It's technology, isn't it, Ray?
Aha!
Oh, it's like Alan Partridge. Hello, mate. Hello.
There he is.
I'll focus you on Aidan there for a moment.
Oh, God.
Hey, all right, Doug. All right, mate. Hey, Woody.
Hello, Bobby.
And there's the man.
Mate, what do you... Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What...
She said, Chloe said that if you're ill, she'll replace you.
Yeah, you probably will anyway, even if I'm not ill, Chloe. You're that good, honestly. It's not hard, honestly, Chloe. What do you think the score's going to be on Sunday, mate?
I'm going to stick my neck out and say that we're going to win 2-1.
Yeah?
Bloody hope so.
I actually have a feeling we're going to go there with no fear at all, and we're going to win 2-1.
Yeah, I hope so, because I'm going.
Handbag and lipstick for the occasion.
He's ready and waiting, mate.
Well, we've got nothing to lose now, have we? Our season's done.
Well, neither is they. They've already got top 4, so...
But they got injuries to worry about.
Yeah.
You know, if our boys give them a few kicks, I reckon they'll back off and, take a few yellow cards.
Yeah.
Give your players a few kicks.
Woody.
Yes, mate.
What do you reckon to the score, mate?
I reckon it's going to be a Pidge prediction, mate. I reckon it's going to be 2-1. I'm looking down there, like. You could have the camera. I reckon it's going to be 2-1. I think if we can start the game how we have against Newcastle, play how we did against Chelsea. Our season's already done. You know, they've got World Cups and FA Cups to think about. Get in there, kick their ankles hard, then back off.
That's nice.
Old school football, mate. 80s school football we're talking now. Then yeah, I reckon 2-1. 2-1.
Win 2-1. It sweets for all.
Sweets for all. Yeah. We'll all be down his shop. Pay up, sorry.
We'll be having a party down at Sweets for all.
Left his shop.
You what, mate?
Well, if he stopped left in his shop by the time we finished.
Especially when Dino robs it.
Yeah.
That's it, mate.
What's the boy saying?
Delafeo to play Saturday?
Oh, Sunday, and yeah.
To play Sunday, sorry?
I want him to start. He should start.
He should start straight away, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
Let's go there. Let's go there and get a result. I think if we're positive, we go there on attacking mode, play 4-4-2, maybe 3-5-2. I think we could get something from that game because they're on the cup final.
Well, Super Dan Grimley says he's totally agreed with that. He's actually said that as well. He said they're going to have the one eye on the cup. That's what Super Dan Grimley says. I mean, Beggars will probably disagree with that a little bit, obviously.
I don't think he'll be very fit. I think he'll be probably playing a part as a part substitute.
I think if we hadn't put in the atrocious performance that we did, I think if United hadn't put in the poor performance that we did last Friday, where we lost the game, then I would agree, then there might be a chance that some of the players would be slacking off for this game. But I think because of how bad United were last week, a lot of those players have to prove something to Mourinho to get a starting place in the cup final. I think United will be fired up for this.
Do you know what? I cannot hear what you're saying, my friend. It's not coming through.
Yeah, we'll shout it out on the podcast for you, mate.
And he said Watford's going to beat them, right?
Yeah. He said Watford's going to beat them.
5-0 smashing.
No chance.
Yeah, mate.
I see no chance of that happening. We go there positive. We've got nothing to lose.
No, definitely, mate.
You know, we're safe. Let's go and get a result. That's what I say. Finish the season with a positive.
Yeah, positive, mate.
Might not have to bust a gut either, I don't think.
No, definitely, mate. All right, mate. We'll speak to you later, mate. Do you want to come on next Tuesday?
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah, message me in the week, mate.
We'll arrange it.
Yeah, mate. All right, I'll speak to you soon.
All right, buddy.
All right,
Get well soon, Ray.
Get well soon, mate.
Get well soon.
Don't fall asleep. Aidan, don't fall asleep. There's a good chat.
There's no heavy breathing today, mate, so I think we're all right.
I love it. Right.
See you later, mate.
Cheer me up.
All right. Toodles.
Take care, all right?
All right, mate.
All the best.
And you, mate. Bye. Brilliant. Right. Okay. So, I'll just a big shout out to Danny Iron, Mr. or Eon, as Becky would say. He's on the Real Football Fan Show Thursday, 10th of May, 12:25 a.m. Blimey.
Fuck that, I ain't watching.
Is it sure it's actually in the morning? But yeah, that's what he said anyway. So check out the Real Football Fan Show. It should be on YouTube anyway, guys. So we will try and post it up. If we don't, then Danny Iron will definitely post it up. So check him out on that. We've got a few comments if you boys want to read them out. But just before you do it, just remember, guys, we are in association with WD18 the Watford Fans channel. Like, share and subscribe to get all the latest news, post-match interviews with this chap, definitely. I've been moonlighting a few times on it. Always one of the main guys alongside Danny Iron and Nikhil. Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, bloody hell.
So, guys, check out WD18.
It's all about those stimulations.
It's all about the stimulation at the end of the day, guys. Stimulation is the main thing as well on that show, I'll tell you. And also, Paul Muzzy, vlogs. Go to Paul Muzzy on YouTube. Once again, like, share and subscribe. Get all his latest vlogs. Women's football, you got the Watford ones, you got the non-league as well, guys. So just remember that. And Ashby St. Eve, Google Ashby St. Eve, message Jim Cook, or you go to Ashby St. Eve, check out their latest lines. We've got one of the Gomez superhero t-shirts on Super Aidan at the moment. One of many. You've got loads of Watford superhero things. There's a nice little beat there with the superhero thing, superhero son. And gifts and souvenirs at Ashby St. Eve. And I think it's ashbysainteve.com. And just remember, Sweets for All, Unit 5, Watford Market, Lord Seren, aka Morpheus, is down there. Check him out. Go and buy your sweets. He's done. I mean, you're going to quickly sneak the plug out for the mugs, but if you go there, they've got little tippies. There's little supporters sweets, but little tidbits there. He supports the Essex Hearts Air Ambulance Service. The money proceeds go to them, guys. So a lot of things that you buy there are for charity. The mug that he's going to shout out now, I'll let him do it. But Seren is selling that for £10. £5 goes to a charity of his choice. But do you want to shout out?
Also in the shop, he does these mugs supplied by Graham Laycock. The day I stop loving Watford is the day I stop breathing. Seren fills them with sweets and says that does that for charity.
Yeah.
It's £10, is it, or something?
£10,
in this
£5
shop.
goes to charity, I think.
£5 goes to charity, or through Graham Laycock, $7.99 goes to epilepsy charity.
Great charity.
Printed both sides. Graham Laycock. Or Seren Sweet Shop if you want them full of sweets.
Yes. Go to the sweet shop as well. Buy one of these from Graham and then go
to the sweet shop and fill it up with Seren's.
Yes. With just Seren's. He must have a sweet called Seren's as well, definitely. Yeah, guys, Happy Hornet. Watford Steve, fast track delivery on all his Hornet themed merchandise. He's 25 to 30% off a lot of lines as well. Still, I know Mr. Watfordwoody has bought his jacket, really class baseball jacket.
Yeah, it looks smart.
So check him out. He's got a load of other lines. Go to Happy Hornet on Facebook. He's got a few links to his loads of lines there. So check him out.
Oh, also Graham does. If you've got any ideas for t-shirts, like bespoke ones, Graham Laycock also will do your design with you and print it off for you.
Yes, mate. As one of these beggars, pull that behind you. Don't worry about the frame. You can just pull it if you want. Right, this is one, the official Dino one, by the way, guys. The young man has got himself a T-shirt. This is one in a prototype one, but we are maybe make a few more for TMA. So what we'll do is we'll try and get these out. We've got bumper stickers on their way. I'll keep saying this, but the bumper stickers are on their way. We'll probably do it for pre-season, get them out there. What we'll do is probably be like around the £2 mark for a few of them. and they all will go to charity. We don't make any profit from them. We're doing it purely for charity. But obviously, the more you stick on your bumper, the more exposure we get. So swings and roundabouts, as I can say. Catch, young man. Goalkeeper. There you go. Good catch. Mr. Funnels online as well. Like I say, big shout out to Danny Iron and Mr. Roy Moore. Roy, well done, mate, for all the 1881. All the guys that contributed as well. I know you've done a few things. I think you did
a lot.
You did one or two things with 1881.
No, I've not met the guys yet. I've not been.
But you certainly have.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's on my list.
When Duncan actually, you've made the list.
I'm on the list.
He's been deleted. Wonderful. But guys, honestly, Duncan has actually helped out the 1881 as well, Sir Dunk, when he actually found the bunker eventually. Mate, there's a story where he tried it. The bunker's on the left of the rookery stand. If you go back of the rookery stand, it's going down towards the hospital. There's a steps and you walk down it. It's literally there. He turned right instead of left. He ended up at the football ground. He said, I've ended up at the football ground. Mate, it's slightly bigger than the bunker. If you go to the left instead of right, you know, so it's sat nav.
Did you hold his hand the second time? Didn't you take him down there?
It wasn't his hand. It wasn't my hand. He was old.
Oh, well,
I let him
smile was all round though.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Got bored of that. Nailed Aidan's hand.
Ray Cook has just mentioned. Can we mention Bournemouth? Good luck Saturday against Tranmere in the playoffs.
Yeah, Bournemouth. Well done, boys. Yeah, well, going to Wembley. And well, on that point, good shout, mate. Because on that point, Levy is going with them. He's on loan there. And he scored the goal that got him there.
He scored the winner, though.
Scored the winner as well. So Levy, superb player. I want him to be playing.
It was a last-minute winner, wasn't it?
Pretty was, actually. I think it's 3-2. Sutton United.
Yeah.
Sutton United.
Yeah, it was a last-minute winner.
Yeah.
Literally, last kick of the game, he got it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, they reckon. Andre Gray, well done, Levy, fantastic, mate. I'd rate you very, very highly, as indeed a lot of people do, and I'd love to see you get a few appearances next season for Watford, definitely. Right, John Goodall, one of the original Watford managers, believe the first, one of the first, John Goodall, because obviously way before anyone's time here, but John Goodall, I mean, fair play to the club, and I've written a bit, so I've got to make sure I've got the names properly, but I heard about it. He's got his own plot. He had his plot for years when he passed away in the 40s because he lived in the.
I've seen that.
And an unofficial historian, one of the main historians for Watford, might I add. I'll shout out his name in a minute, but he was Trevor. Was it Trevor Jones? Trevor Jones, unofficial thing. With help from him, they've made a massive plot, tombstone, a massive. Gravestone at Tombstone. A bit WWE, the choke slam as well. But no, seriously, they've made a proper gravestone, really nice gravestone for him. Massive Watford banner.
Yeah, very nice.
It's just a nice touch to honour the great man. You know,
because it was unmarked when the grave was unmarked.
It was unmarked completely.
Yeah,
this is Watford manager years ago. He was a pillar of the community. He lived there after he left Watford, after he left the club. You know, and passed away, you know, about 40 years later. He joined Watford in 1903 as manager, and we were quite a decent side back then when under his stewardship.
We were unbeaten under his first
invincible.
Year.
We were invincible.
Invincible.
Invincible. We
are the for Sunday. Now we've marked his grave for him.
We are the original. Shall we say, sod Arsenal guys, we are the original Invincibles. We're super John Goodall. But yeah, no, fair play to the club and the historians, Trevor Jones, for sorting out that plot. So we're at Section G of Watford's Vicarage Road Cemetery. So even I might go there. Just I know it sounds
a nice
cheap.
stone. If you've not seen the stone,
get photo, take his grave, so not selfie crap or anything. Proper respectful photo. That'd be fantastic. I'll definitely turn up there. Yeah. Right. TMA Player of the Season, pretty much almost decided now, but we'll run it on to guys. Thank you very much for voting, and you guys as well, because you've done it as well. Decore is pretty much streaming out at the moment. The TMA thing, and we will. And I've spoken I mean, you've done it more than me. I've spoken to Decore. We will actually message him and just say to him on our fans forum, "You are our Player of the Season." It's nothing. It's only a small forum, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, he's replied a lot of times. He's replied more than Deeney, to be fair, and Deeney's pretty good on his Twitter account. But Decore always replies, and Fallon Barami was very good as well. I've always messaged Fallon, but not mate to her, but always, whenever you message him, oh, well done, mate, good performance, always message her.
That's the same with Cavaselli. He loves replying to the fans.
He loves it, doesn't he? Right. So we said about Felipe. Right. This has been going on for a while, but Andre Gray to Everton or Cardiff.
Nah.
It's more chance he'd go to Cardiff if he ever did go. But honestly, if he puts in another decent performance, I think Gracia, I'm certain, I think he's going to stay because they would have made I think who said it? I think Danny may have said it. They would have made an announcement already.
Yeah.
If
the manager?
If he was going to leave.
Yeah.
Okay,
by this time, 2 seasons ago, we knew Kiko was going. Last season, by this time, we knew Mazzari was going. And the club hasn't announced anything.
I mean, that was the best news I've heard.
Personally, I think we need a new manager. I don't think he's the manager to take this team forward. Personally, myself.
The
winning 8 games.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, though, is in his defence, he's had a team void of confidence on a massive bad run. Okay, we're not been under stewardship. We've been shocking away. Agreed with that. We haven't scored, basically, so it is shocking. But a fully fit squad, which we haven't had for 2 years, a fully fit squad for most of that season, for most of the half of the season that I'd give him, and a few more players that, like Duxby saying, we're adding quality rather than quantity. Let's see. And if he plays 2 up front, he may surprise us. That's what I'm holding on. My optimism with that is that's where it's coming from. That if we can get these players fit, because that's what Duxby said, we've pretty much got the squad, which is none of them are playing because
I can't see him being there myself. No. I think they'll get rid of him after the Man U game.
Well, we said people said no. 58 people said no to 43.
It's a 50-50 for me, to be honest. Like, I can see him having at least half a season with us next season, but I can also see him being sacked and we sign someone else on who has had experience in the Premier League.
Yeah. Well, Sir Ray's saying we still need another striker, maybe 4 other additions. See, I'd actually move Cabal on and Britos. Cabal was sad because we haven't seen things. Because when he first came, I went, "Oh, good, nice, solid, organises the back, experienced." I mean, he's hardly Baresi, but you know,
start of the season, did he?
Yeah, and he kept pulling up for hamstring injuries. I mean, this is just you watch the fun and games we've had all season with our injuries. Jesus, I mean, United have had a few, but we're worse than last season in injuries. I mean, Silva, to be fair on him, you know, even the Snake we had no back line for a lot of that start, did we? Especially centre backs were horrendous. We had a different centre back pair in every game at one point.
I do think this year, a bit like last season, that Watford made such a great start to the season that with the injuries that you've had and the dip in form in the second half of the season, you've created the gap was so great that you've been able to afford to have the injuries that you have and be able to get away with it this year because of the start of the season. But Watford need to keep making sure that they have a strong start to the season. They can't keep.
If we haven't had our strong starts of the seasons, we would have been relegated even last season, or even this season could have easily been relegated.
We would have gone down this season.
Yeah,
last season
at the start.
I mean, last season was even more sketchy because at one point there was like 6 points in it with about 3 or 4 games to go, and they were saying about massive goalie. Everyone's going, "Oh, we'll be fine, we'll be fine." It's like until we get another point. Luckily, it was because everyone else was worse. We stayed up.
I think he's done the job he was brought in to do. Steady the ship.
Yeah, he did steady the ship.
I mean, it's in the Premier League, but I just don't think
that Chelsea
was
result just unbelievable.
I think that was
just nobody saw
a very good result for Watford.
We overpeaked at that time. Looking at our results now, we overpeaked because after that it was like not this Lord Mayor show rubbish. We just haven't really created it. What's up?
New Austin saying Potsers will do what they want. They're like Marmite. You love it or hate it.
True. You should get a letter through. Do you love the posers or not? And you're like, yes, I love them. Brilliant. Yes.
Darren Grimley's got to go. He's got to go. Just no good.
Well, a lot of them agree with you more than the other way around because, like I say, people said thank you very much for voting again, guys. Official TMA poll. Official. It always has to be official, mate. We love an official poll here. Not Polish, just poll. Just a poll. Graham poll. It's an official Graham poll. 58 said no, not 58%, just 58. 58 said no, it's 43 yes, so it's not split. I mean, the no's were pretty much think, I mean, a few crept up. We get a win at Old Trafford, then it all totally just go, you know, go maybe style, you know. Well, I like Marmite. Yeah, that's definitely an official claim there from Darren. So am I. I'm a lover as well. I got the letter through the other week.
I do not like it.
I got that letter through from Marmite.
Lover.
Yeah, I was undecided until I got that letter.
I hate Marmite.
You hate Marmite?
Yeah.
But you don't hate the Pozzos?
No, love the Pozzos. Because I reckon without them, we wouldn't have gained promotion in the first place. We'd still be in the Championship.
We'll still be under, I mean, this is not knocking Dice. We'll still be under Dice's thing where we had no money and we're working under scraps.
Yeah, and the
so what Dice was doing.
The Elton John stand, that wouldn't have been built without them.
And another shout out to the groundsman who won the best Premier League grounds pitch as well.
We are top of the league. We are top of the league.
So we're going to Europe.
Your ground guy.
Yeah, honestly, when you look at the pitch, when you walk there first time, you just go, wow, it's just a bowling green. I mean, we've got, quite rightly, we've got the best pitch.
Slicker on that pitch.
They've done really well. Groundsman, really, really well.
Really, I mean, Les Simmons.
Is it Les Simmons?
Les,
yeah.
Les, years ago, he was absolute god for how the hell he managed to maintain that
with
pitch.
sand and mud.
Sand and mud. Les was just a legend because I actually went to his testimonial. They gave him a testimonial against Arsenal in '97, summer of '97, or just after the season finished. I think it was. And Stuart Slater. I remember Stuart Slater having a decent game.
Yeah.
And it was just the season before Arsenal won the double. Remember that because old Wrighty was playing. Oh yeah, I remember that. I've still got the program as well. I've still got the Les Simmons testimonial program as well. Boom. Yeah, boost. That's all. Boost, boys. Boost. Yeah, no, memories, good memories. Right, your best memory of Man United. Obviously, we will say Lou for scoring against you, knocking out the League Cup. Obviously, but what's your best? So top three memories of. Right.
Top three, I would say. At number 3, I would say Cantona scoring that goal against Liverpool. It was a dire FA Cup final in '96 and completing the double.
Spice Boys with it.
Yeah, as Alex said, 1-0 before we'd even kicked the ball when he saw them in those suits, those cream suits.
Oh, yeah.
Especially given the fact that year people were writing that team off after the first game of the season where we lost 3-1 to Villa.
We can't play anything with kids. That's it.
Another one would be where we completed the double again in '94 against Chelsea, where we beat Chelsea at Wembley, that 4-0 match. I remember it was so big around that day. And my memory in particular was Cantona scored those 2 penalties, but I remember one of the Chelsea defenders slipped and Hughes ran in and made it 3-0.
Was that when you lost to Villa in the League Cup final? Was it an indestructible season when you pretty much go win everything?
Yeah, we lost 3-1. I think that day, and Chelsea's got sent off because he handballed it on the goal line. But Villa were better than us that day. We were really poor.
Right. So is that your 3 and 2?
So that's 2. Obviously, the number 1 for me is obviously got to be winning the treble in '99. Solskjaer's.
I think it was a bit of a stupid question saying it's your favourite one, but that's why I said a top 3 because I knew that pretty much be floating around the top area. I think, you know. No, but right. Here's another question: Vidic Ferdinand or Pallister Bruce?
It has to be the partnership, so can't have one of each.
No. What is the better partnership, in your opinion?
Probably Vidic and Ferdinand because I think they did better in Europe than Bruce and Pallister in Europe. If you to ask me personally,
generally, who do you think would come out on top? Do you think like Europe? Do you think that just pushes them?
Just pushes them. I'm always reluctant to judge that '94 side, the one that won the double, because of the foreigners rule in Europe in the early mid '90s. So you were reduced with how many players you could pick.
Yeah. And
so United sides that they picked for the Champions League campaign probably wasn't the strongest sides they could have put out. So I'm always a little bit reluctant. If you to ask me. Out of those, though, I would say Vidic, I thought, did a lot of covering for Rio Ferdinand. So, actually, out of those 4, I think Vidic was the best one of the 4. I think both Bruce and Pallister read the game very well. Whereas the problem with Rio Ferdinand was he had a lot of pace, but he got turns very quickly by the strikers because he stood off them a lot more.
Yeah.
And he made up for that by his pace, where he recovered. When he got his back injuries later on in his career, he got found out. I think Vidic did a lot of covering for Ferdinand's mistakes. He covered him a lot.
Yeah.
But I think when you consider obviously, I didn't include it, but it's the 2008 team that won the double in terms of Europe. I mean, that's another great.
Oh, what the Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney forward line? What a forward line! That was the best in world football at the time. It was a bit like the MSN now, in terms of the front three were just absolutely brilliant, weren't they?
But it was just a personal, just for me. I was always very fond of the double winning side of '94. I don't feel it got a proper run out in Europe because you couldn't pick your full strength squad at the time.
Oh yeah.
So, but obviously the '99 one I think was slightly better than the 2008 one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's basically your class of '92 at their peak.
Yeah.
At their pomp, pretty much, wasn't it? It was they're really 5 years together.
Yeah. I think the tribute you could give to some members of the class of '92 was the fact that certainly Giggs and Scholes were still key members of the 2008 squad. I think Gary picked up a few injuries by that point, so was probably coming towards the end of his career. But Giggs and Scholes were still key players in that team, but they've been able to adapt the game, as saying earlier, in terms of the old-fashioned style players having that footballing brain to adapt their games, which a lot of the modern-day players you don't see. I mean, I can't see Pogba playing for United at 38.
No, I'm still Ronaldo could do that. Cristiano, he could easily play until 39, 40. He'd probably go to USA, but he could easily look how fit he is. Look at Ibrahimovic.
Yeah,
that's unreal. The fitness of those guys is just amazing. You thought as a professional footballer you would get the fit anyway because it's your job.
Well, when Ronaldo was at Old Trafford, I was lucky because I saw his debuts at Old Trafford.
Bolton, wasn't it?
Against Bolton, he came on the hour mark, and it was we were winning the game 1-0, and I remember Alex had put in his programme notes talking about summer transfers, and obviously Beckham's was the one that got the most publicity because he'd gone to Real Madrid. Ferguson alluded to it, but without mentioning Beckham's name. But he said, "Trust me, I know what I'm doing." Ronaldo came on. In terms of all the players I've seen at Old Trafford in all the years, I've never seen a player lift the atmosphere, not even Cantona, and the way Ronaldo did that day when he started doing his tricks with the ball. It was a raw talent, but you could tell he had something.
There's something there, wasn't it?
There's something there, and he's worked on it. Like all the United players that played with him, at one point they had Rooney and Ronaldo at level pegging around 2006-07 time. The difference is Ronaldo worked hard. He went to the gym after the game.
We said
training.
If Messi had the talent already there, I had to work for it. That's what he's always said. He said he had it already God given there, and then worked at it. Yeah. He had to get it. He said he had the bit there, but I had to work hard.
There was a story at Old Trafford that with Ronaldo, at one point, Mike Phelan said to him, "Ronaldo, look, why didn't you head the ball? You've got everything about you, but you never head the ball in the game." And he said, "Because I don't want to mess my hair up."
Who said that? Ronaldo?
Ronaldo. So he said, if you jump and head the ball correctly, use your forehead, you won't mess your hair up. So he practiced his heading. And in the next game, his first headed goal for United, he ran down the touchline and started patting his head and said, "Look, I haven't messed my hair up."
Brilliant. Right, looking at the season gone. I mean, you've come to way more games as obviously me and Mick have done.
I've only missed one this season.
What's the you? Loyal fan. Yeah, you're supposed to be an invincible fan, but
well, I was on the stag dude.
Oh, here we go. So any excuse for a drink, but no, it's been on moves, isn't it? To be honest, running away from Geordie fans. But there you go. But what's your standout moment of the season?
Well, there's two of them. There was our last away win, Newcastle away. My first time ever was at St James Park. Yeah, first time there, all the way up in the bloody gods.
A bit high,
just a little bit. But the way we played that game was absolutely pretty much perfect. The way we played that game.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea at home. Nobody saw that coming. I said it was going to be a scrappy 1-1
draw. That was.
But we went 1-0 up, and then who was it that scored? Was it Hazard?
Yeah, that's it.
That scored.
I thought it was going to be 1-0, honestly, when he scored.
As soon as it went 1-0, I was like, oh God, here we go. We're going to bottle the lead. I was like, here we go. It's going to be 2-1 Chelsea, then 3-1 Chelsea, and that's it, game over. But next thing I know, it's like the players finally switched on. And they looked more up for it than they were when they went 1-0 up. And they pretty much said to themselves, right, we're not going to sit back here, we're going to attack them. That's exactly what the players done. Then it went 2-1. I'm like, come on, just keep hold of the lead now. Don't sit back, but keep hold of it. Then we're pushing for a third. We got the third. And I'm like, there's the three points right there. We've got no more.
Never was outstanding when he second half was just amazing, wasn't he?
And Yamat as well. That was his best. That was his best game for us.
That goal was quality. That's probably the best goal of the night.
He's got 1-2 with the Corey and slotting it into the bottom right.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, Pereira scores that cracker, and it goes 4-1 all within 5 to 10 minutes. Nobody would have saw that coming.
No.
Ever. Nobody would have saw it coming. If you told me at the start of the season we're going to beat Chelsea 4-1 at home, I would have snapped your arm off. Because I wouldn't have believed you.
No.
But the way we were set up in that game, defensively, midfield, and attack, nothing could have been better than that game.
No, completely. Mick,
I agree with everything you've just said about the Chelsea game, but also the Arsenal game before Christmas.
Yes.
When we won
with the step ladder. You know, we needed a step ladder, raised step ladder. We needed through and cleverly.
Yeah, that'll be my two games this season. Arsenal just before Christmas and Chelsea where we didn't lay down when they scored.
We just smashed them.
Tell you what, I'll throw one into it because I think we were just outstanding. I'd put Chelsea purely because of the way it turned and the last 10 minutes just unbelievable. It was
we were in the stands chanting, we want 5.
Southampton away, beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That way we pushed, I'll tell you what, you'd buy FIFA 18 just to play that midfield. It's absolutely brilliant. We had, honestly, at that time, on form, and people laughed at me, people actually said, you've actually got a point. On form, we had the best midfield in the Premier League. On form.
Southampton didn't get a shot on target till the 90th minute.
Yeah, not as ability, you know, Pogba's, the Matiches and people like that, but in terms of cohesion, at that time, Richarlison was on top form. We had, you know, Carrillo,
the Corey, Chalobah.
Yeah, we had the Corey,
Chalobah. They were the dream team.
Put this way, Will Hughes could not get in that side, and Will Hughes is class. I mean, he was
struggling to oversee Chalobah.
Yeah,
talk about Chalobah. Nothing.
He's the ginger Perlo. Will Hughes is the ginger Perlo. I tell you what, we pushed when we saw one of our. I don't necessarily the goals, but the way we broke. 3 of our midfield just went whoosh, and even all the fullbacks. I mean, Firmino, at the start of the season was just unbelievable going forward.
They were all scared to go near him because they know they could just go
fullbacks were just pushing on. We're basically doing a City where we marauded our fullbacks, and we just basically had 2 at the back defending, and we pushed.
Not even that. They were over the halfway line. Nobody was in our own half apart from the keeper.
With the Silver philosophy, it was better to defend better to attack to defend rather than hold back, and it worked. But then teams started sussing us out a little bit because we had no plan B.
Well, once Chalobah got injured, that's it. Form started dipping, and then we were like,
Chalobah was our linchpin.
We were like, who do we have to replace him? We're like, we've got Capu. He doesn't really look up for it, even though he did score a wonder goal against Bournemouth. And we had Hughes. I always rated Hughes. I thought he was always a classic, a great player. But I don't think with the team we had, we weren't able to make it. Now I'd have him in the starting lineup every single week.
Well, I've always banged on about this for years. When I was up about 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, so when Hughes just broke through. Well, it was about 5, 6 years ago. Sorry, when he broke through. And I was in the stands at the Gladys at Christmas We just went up to see the in-laws, and Barry, my father-in-law, said, "Right, we're going to the Everton game." Yeah, go on. Then no one meet all the Gladys lot. They're all blatantly knows Watford's all winding me up. They're winding me up in the pub and stuff like that. And we went out, and I said to him, he said, "Who do you think Everton are going to buy in January?" And I said, "Get Will Hughes." I said, "This lad is going to be quality. This is him at 17." I said, "This guy, you could probably get him for 4 million now, 4 or 5 million at a time." This is when Moyes was there. I said, "You have to get him. He is amazing. He will be an England player." 5 years on, look how good he is. And we got him for 5 million. We got Shalabov for 5 million as well. And Chelsea fans were up in arms. They said, "How the hell could we sell one of our best midfielders that is not playing, who's not playing, for 5 million?" It was crazy.
A few years ago, the season before we got promoted, I was at the home game, Watford v Derby, when we lost 3-2.
Yeah.
And what a cracking game that was, because most of the time, I was enjoying the game, but about 3/4 of it, I was just watching what Hughes was doing. He was absolutely ripping us apart. And it was because of Hughes that day that Derby actually got the 3 points. He had 2 assists.
Yeah.
And when they made it 3-2, it was because of a ball Hughes put through past 2 of our defenders to let Derby in to score. And ever since that game, I wanted us to sign Hughes. And the second I found out we signed him, I was cheering because I knew what a player he could be.
Yeah. Colin, we'll just reiterate, it was with add-ons, and the initial fee was 5 to 8 million. They paid 5 million up front, and then we've added on an extra 3 million. So in total, it is 8 million, mate. But originally it was 5 million standoff, and then the rest of it was add-ons and stuff like that. But we had to pay 8 million straight off anyway. So
but 8 million for Hughes, that's a bargain.
In today's look, considering Ake went for 20,
right now, he could be 15-20 mil.
Nothing, is it? So considering Ake went to Bournemouth for 20 million.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a decent player, but certainly ain't worth 20 million. Gray's certainly not worth 18.5, but there you go. That's another story. We've said that enough times. Tara said hello from my lovely neighbour.
Hi, Tara. How you doing?
Mr. Beasley, mate, I'm pleased to hear you're doing well, mate, and you're getting better. So I know you've been unwell recently. All your problems and stuff, mate. You know, hats off to Colin. He's getting better, so he's on the mend. And so Ray, once again, mate. Glad to hear you getting better. Get well soon, mate. Yeah, get through there, mate, and I'll hopefully see you next Tuesday, mate. Yeah.
Literally.
But yeah, that's it. Definitely. Right, we must stop this now. Stop this madness. But afterwards, go on, mate.
One last thing. Is anyone going to the Legends match on Saturday?
I can't, because I actually have a Legends football match. This is the true Legends match at Leverstock Green.
Because
yeah, go on.
Yeah.
If any of you like good fish and chips, before the game on Saturday, on the front, Lou Macari's fish and chip shop does great fish and chips.
Yeah, Lou Macari's fish and chip shop. Good shout out.
Yeah, just outside Old Trafford on the front.
Old Trafford on the front. Oh, heard that, boys. Old Trafford on the front. Lou Macari bar.
Yeah,
Lou Macari fish and chips. Brilliant, mate.
The Legends that are going to be playing on Saturday is Nick Wright, Alan Smart, Lloyd Doyley, Luther Blissett, Stevie Barmer,
Fred West,
Derek Payne, Tommy Mooney, Marcus Gale.
And where's this at?
It's at the Vic.
If you're bored, Saturday afternoon?
3 o'clock kick off. 10. It's only a tenner to get in. So Elton John stand, and there'll be loads of more celebrities there to play the boys as well. And I believe most of the money will be going towards charity as well.
Yeah, and also if you want to meet some of the WD18 boys, yeah, they'll be there as well. Yeah, so, but also if you really can't make Vicarage Road, make Leverstock Green's football ground. 2 o'clock kick-off. Me and the young man will be playing.
Dino the World, the legend.
Yeah, we're actually on the same team for once. For years they have not put us together on that one. So
you got the step ladder for Dino.
Step ladder for Dino. No, the free kick wall. We've told him, Dino. I promise you, he will not be. He will not be the free kick wall. We've already told him. Even the gaffer who's doing it will not put him in the free kick.
Put him in there.
Do not put him in there. It will not happen. But just remember, guys, just to confirm, Lord Soren still hasn't scored. Certainly against me, he hasn't. So we'll just throw that out there.
He struggles to score against me when I
tell you what, he's got a first touch, but he's rounded me a couple of times, but still couldn't score. So
he hates playing against me when I'm in goal.
You, Jamie Morley, me, David Oldsworth. That's all I could say. So we'll put that out. Right.
Soren's going to close his shop early to go to the Vic.
Well, South African keeper just knocked out one of his own players. Apparently, Mr. Colin Beasley said, and Super Dan Grimley with the eyes. I'm 46.
Nigel's asked, is Soren playing on Saturday? If he's at his shop.
Legend.
Yeah, if he's at his shop.
If he doesn't eat too many sweets, I reckon so. But I reckon Moutinho should be picked for that. I honestly, I don't think the fee was big enough. So,
what, 2 bounties and the sneakers?
Yeah. And some fish and chips.
Two waffle bars.
No, but look, all the perfect agreements for a 6-pack because, guys, August we will put this off until August. We will do the 6-pack challenge for him.
He's going for it.
He's going for it.
He's going for it.
Six pack of beers.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't say muscle mass. I went beers, mate. But we've got Sunday. Sunday we're back on. Tuesday will be the final one, and then after that we'll take a break. And have a Kit Kat for about 3 weeks. Not the Kit Kat. The World Cup podcast.
Yes.
We will do it on my profile and possibly on the TMA one, but we will definitely do it on my profile. So just come on and just take the meeting.
Some of us WD18 lads are actually talking about doing previews and everything for the World Cup as well.
We'll just run that as well. We'll publicise that, mate, and I'll definitely be up for that as well. So, guys, once again, thank you very much, Begley, Mick.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, guys.
Mick, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure, mate.
We're street, and that's sweet, too sweet. We're street, we're current, so we do those sort of
from the ends,
from the streets, from the hard knock streets of Tring. But guys, just thank you very much once again. Thank you for all your comments. Keep sharing. I mean, obviously, Moves is not happy with 1,000. Keep sharing. Tell his milkman. Tell his baker. He's got a baker. Ted Baker. Tell his mum. Just tell everyone. Look, honestly, if you know Watford fans on the other forums, they're not on our forum. Get them over here. Tell them about the podcast. Tell them about the opinions. Everyone's welcome to their opinion. Get chatting. Get all your comments on, get all your opinions on, and just get talking, basically, guys. And we will see you Sunday, same time, same place. If you're on your way back, if you're on your way to Old Trafford,
be safe. Have a good game.
Yeah, be safe, guys. Have a good game if you're playing.
Have a good game.
Right? But guys, safe journey, everyone. If we will throw out a number, so if you guys want to ring up on the way back on the coach, you're more than welcome, and get your opinions over as well.
I'll hold you up on that.
Yes, you do it.
Yeah.
But we'll have the sweaty man on the coach.
I will be sweating.
He will be sweating.
And
Sweaty Betty's all round on the coach, and we'll find out which coach is, so we can warn you as well. But their windows won't be broken because they're not train windows. So
never know, the coach might get something special.
Yeah. Ooh. What a Sunday, special surprise.
Stick out for it.
Get your lens stick up for the lads. That's all I can say. So it's goodbye from him.
It's a good night from me.
It's a good night from me.
See you later, boys.
Also, Alex Ferguson, get well soon.
Yes,
get
so
well
Alex. See if I can turn this off now.
Oh, here we go. This is always a dodgy bit.